Hello and welcome back to Planet Stronghold Colonial Defence. Okay, let's talk to Christoph. Is everything alright, Christoph? You look like shit. Perhaps his next money-making scheme is keeping him awake at night. After all, even the sheep wise up when getting fleeced. Indeed, as you look at Christoph, his face seems deeply lined, and there are deep black circles under his eyes. If only it were that, then I would be sleeping like an angel. No, just a few faces from my past keeping me awake. The honeysuckle cologne he wears does nothing to improve his state. If anything, it makes the normally good-natured man seem even more morose. Ah, a guilty conscience. I sometimes wondered whether you had one. You must have really wronged these people if they're troubling your sleep. Oh, I've never denied having regrets, Captain, but few bother me. It is a burden best left in the past. Sometimes, though, one can never forget one's actions, or at least they shouldn't. That's heavy, but I agree, forgetting one's past often leads to repeating it. Heaven save me if I have to kill another friend, though. Sounds like you have a tale to tell. Let me get you another pint, I'll lend you an ear. If you were looking for another story, I'm afraid this wouldn't get much airtime. Wouldn't have gotten where I was without a measure of discretion. Aside from what you said, that this occurred a long time ago. Ah, what is there to say? As I told the captain earlier, I clawed my way to a position of power in the underworld. Of course, I didn't do it on my own. No, the lone wolf tends to get culled at the earliest sign of trouble. Exactly. No matter how good you are, you still have to start at the bottom. Thankfully, my crew was good enough that we started to rise. And in a profession where the highest rank to the most ruthless. So you backstabbed your way to the top? No, thank goodness for that. Don't misunderstand me. If the opportunity presented itself, I might have done so, but it never came to that. No, when I first started out, the people in my crew were my closest friends. Of course, you were comrades, shed blood for each other. But for someone, that wasn't enough, was it? No. No, for Francois, it wasn't enough. At first it started small, like sneaking into a second kick to a deadbeat or a sinister threat when a warning was sufficient. I could overlook the occasional misstep. Talk about foolish. If you don't make sure someone toes the line, you've failed. It is an easy thing to say in retrospect. After all, he was still bringing his dues, covering my back at the risk of his own. So what was the tipping point? He started to lean on the wrong people. People who weren't scared into keeping their mouths shut. So I was tasked to discipline Francois. It was easy. I told him someone who was behind on their payment and I needed him to take care of it. An ambush of the trusted. Brutus would have been proud. The naff went in easily enough, though he did struggle. Futile, really. I wasn't alone. And I'm sure it must have pleased your superiors. That it did. Of course, revealing your own capabilities in the process. That sort of life, there is only one way to advance, and it isn't retirement. So it wasn't long before I made a lateral move to join the military. Had they let you leave? It was encouraged. Of course, at that time I wasn't high up, and it saved them the effort of coming after me. Which means Francois' murder was for nothing. At least I kept Francois from growing more dangerous. Whatever it takes to help you sleep at night. I guess it doesn't. On nights like this, I wonder if there was something I could have done differently. Well, you could have turned him in. If he was really your friend, you should have contacted the police. Might have been alive at least. And if I did that, I would have been found floating in the Seine. At least those parts not eaten by the fish. Hell, it would have been easier to pull the gun to your head and pull the trigger. Well, unless you need anything else, I'd like to be alone with my beer. Poor Christoph. Yeah, admittedly, I'm feeling sorry for a guy who stabbed one of his friends in the back. Literally. You know, but anywho. I feel really bad about that sort of broken heart symbol there. Oh well. Go to Kalina. Hey, Captain. Join us if you will. Something special going on. Once I've freed some time, I promise we'll go boar grub hunting. War has a habit of getting in the way. No, this isn't about our trip, though I do look forward to it as well. You see Kalina, Griselia, Rigel and Xavier all sitting at a table. nursing full steins. When they finish one, the bartender makes sure it's filled up again. There's a melancholy look on their faces. We're just honouring those who came before us. Let our steins kiss and quench our sorrows. But for a twist of fate, it would be us in the cold, dark ground. Hear, hear. May their slumber be peaceful. I won't pretend to have seen as many deaths of you, but permit me to honour the deceased with you. Kalina tips her drink, and about half of it spills onto the floor before she drinks the rest. Why are you pouring your drink on the floor? Spirits, alcohol, for the spirits. It's alright, Griselia. Though the words don't come easy, I thank those for their sacrifice. Griselia, if something should happen to me, I want you to give the eulogy. Why me? I mean, I will do if that's what you want, but we're not particularly close. I don't know. Christoph could make your funeral memorable. Oh, I'm sure he would. He'd probably fix my coffin so it sounded like I was pounding it from the inside, yelling to get out. Griselia, well, I trust you to give it the dignity it deserves. Besides, war is a way of binding people together. It's remarkable how easy one can set aside differences when the bullets fly. Is it horrible that I now really want to stick it in my will that at my funeral I want it to I want them to rig it up so it sounds like I'm pounding on the inside of my coffin? That'd be a bloody horrible practical joke to play on everybody. And it's not exactly a joke you ever get to see the punchline of, but you're just lying there dying and you just remember that and think, oh, that's gotta be good. You'll probably outlive us all, but if that's your wish, I'd be honoured. I don't know. I think Christoph is probably onto something. Not that there's anything wrong with sadness, but I'd like people to be cheered up. Then you're likely to have a ceremony with a fog machine and disco ball. 1 foot in death's door, 1 in the land of the living, and humping the wall between. Me, it wouldn't matter much. It'll be the family crypt for me. All the pomp and circumstance a ducal funeral could have. Hell, I'll probably be thought of more fondly if I died than if I lived. How dare you say that? Your friends will miss you. Friends, yes, but family? I doubt it. For me, it won't really matter. I've already indicated that I want my body to nourish the earth. Actually, I've been meaning to ask Griselia, if anyone knows you would. Look, after we die, do you know what happens? Sorry, I honestly don't know. I mean, obviously there's something there when the person's alive, but when you die, it's empty. I think something happens, but I don't have any proof. So, Captain, you've made plans for the inevitable, in case it arrives sooner than you expected. Well, it's... given their career choice, it's probably a good idea to make some backup plans. Be prepared is my motto. That's one burden I don't wish to lay on my family. I agree. There's more than enough sorrow, and you don't want to burden your loved ones with such a decision. And yet, for many people, it helps bring closure to be involved. Well, I'm going to take my leave. I want to talk to some departed friends. That was quite depressing. So let's do a job for Charlotte. Captain, I wanted to thank you once more for coming along. Anytime, Charlotte. And before you ask, I am well armed. I'd love to see the look on my mum's face if you invited her to a garden party and firearms were mandatory. Well, that's Stronghold for you. Even the plant life wants to eat you. One day we'll all end up pushing up daisies, but the plants don't have to show self-initiative. I admit, I've been tempted a time or two to expose a Venus flytrap to a gnarlstone, but the self-preservation definitely prevails. As you continue to talk with Charlotte, your communicator beeps, and it's of the highest priority. Charlotte goes quiet as Galenia's image stares black at you. Captain, we have a serious situation. What is it? I'm forwarding the footage now. Galenia's image disappears and is replaced by that of a Drayden, equipped for war. In fact, there are several Draydens, and they are roughly holding several human children by the arm, including a redhead girl. Alicia! Charlotte grabs your arm roughly and twists your wrist as she tries to get a better view. Humans! We have your mewling cubs. If you don't want anything to happen to them, I advise you to pay attention. We will release your offspring at a time as our demands are met. You hear someone, presumably someone else, speak up. And if they aren't met? I know how sensitive your species is about your cubs, so it's probably best we don't speak of it. Just remember, young flesh tends to be the sweetest. The image of the Drayden disappears and Kalina is there once more. I don't know what you want to do, Captain. The Draydens are currently heading back to their territory, and they're only about 30 minutes from you. Kalina's image fades only to the jungle sounds to filter into your awareness. The kids? They were supposed to be on a field trip? I highly doubt you gave them permission to visit a war zone. Even school officials aren't that incompetent. Know that we're visiting a farm well within our colony boundaries. Of course, the Draydens have been stealthy. They can penetrate pretty far. Captain, what am I going to do? Alicia's the world to me. I'm afraid you're going to hate my answer. You know what the military's position is on captives. No negotiation. Captain, don't tell me you're going to do nothing. Charlotte, I never said that. I have a plan. Well, I have as much of a plan as ordering a counter-strike allows, but I'm going to need your help, and I can't have you going off half-cocked. You can count on me. It isn't just my daughter they have. We'll trap them between us. We'll only have one chance to take them down. I opened my window early because it was getting a bit warm in here. I'm going to have to close it again because it's getting windy out there. Whatever you say, Captain. And I only get 10 cards. Of course I only get 10 bloody cards. Right. Ditch the automated repair drones. Ditch the regular infantry. Ditch the take covers. Grenadier and assault infantry are both pretty useful. But I'm going to upgrade the grenadier units to gold, so that they're now really quite powerful. And I'm going to upgrade a robo-ants while I'm at it. Okay. Okay, we can ditch the battle drones. They're useful in certain situations, but they're a little underpowered for what I need them to do. Ditch the marksman teams. Ditch the laser turrets. Ditch the vines. God, limiting myself to 10 cards is really difficult. Alright, drop the flamethrower turrets and drop one of the robo-ants. Probably going to regret this because a lot of what I've got there is quite expensive. Okay, let's ditch the sharpshooters and put the regular infantry back in. Okay. Captain, the hostages will be killed if we don't win within 10 turns. So. Deploy a single assault infantry squad, which will get killed immediately. Okay, let's deploy a regular infantry squad and end the turn. Okay, that's okay. I was expecting them to attack it, but Grenadier, take him out, please. Infantry, target them. Should have deployed a cannon turret. I can do that now. You two can both hit that guy. This is actually going to be a pretty straightforward firefight. In fact, a very straightforward firefight. Excellent. The Drayden Raiders are dead at your feet, but thanks to your actions, the children are physically unharmed. Charlotte has her arms wrapped around Alicia, and tears of happiness stream down her face. However, most of the children appear shaken, and they huddle near you for protection. Captain, we should find a more secure location, at least until we can get picked up. That's my thought as well. We won this time, but there's no guarantee we will again. Okay, so what could do with getting upgraded? Most of my cards are now in the gold rank. I could upgrade those missile turrets even if I don't use them that much. Screw it. Right, either way, that's an excellent point to end this part, so thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next.